It's time to release the supreme power of Rafaam Warlock onto Standard Hearthstone, thanks to the more recent balancing changes, making it where not every single opponent is going to be running Dirty Rat. Now, Rafaam was one of the cards that I wanted to use most once the set got revealed, just because of the fact an instant win condition card felt really cool, since it is a new way to play the game. Rafaam requires you to actually play all 10 Rafaams in order to destroy the enemy hero. Now, there is a little bit of a problem with this card. If your opponent uses a Dirty Rat, or you accidentally burn a card because you have a lot of draw power to get through your entire deck, then you don't really have a backup plan. However, some of the Rafaams can just overwhelm a lot of opponents with big standard minions that you can slam down after using a Ceaseless Expanse. Now, for the one guy, first thing you're going to be watching out for is going to be Dryad and Tiny Rafaam. These will allow you to draw into, hopefully, your high-cost Rafaams. Then you're going to be looking for any early game removal tools, such as Domino Effects, especially against an aggro matchup. Then any type of draw power cards. Now, with all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against DK. I won't lie, we almost had Bwonsamdi DK on the channel instead of this today, but then I was like, wait, we might as well try to do this before people start running Dirty Rat again for like other combo decks. So we're doing this. Bwonsamdi DK, if you want to see it, will probably be sometime next week. The schedule that I have planned is Rafaam, followed by Lockdown Demon Hunter with some old footage, but it's still fun. And then probably Bwonsamdi DK, and then I'll go from there. Oh, and we'll probably do a Corona Druid list centered around Insidious as a win condition at some point too next week. Okay, let's just hero power, draw an our minion. Perfect, actually. I also, in the earlier games, I was using the Eternal Layover and Zerg package, but just felt like it wasn't needed anymore. Like, you have a lot of different AoE tools that you can use to replace, and it's a big package, and I kind of just wanted more draw power to get into our Rafaams. Though, in hindsight, we might wanted to try a few different draw power cards, maybe Carrion Grub. I haven't really... It's an idea that I've had, but we're about 20 games into testing right now, and I don't want to change the deck that much. I usually only do 20 games, but I think for this one I'm going to do 30, just because the stream was not functioning the way that I wanted to. There's two ways we can do this. I think we put down Murloc and then Explorer. Actually, thinking about it, let me know down below which Rafaam is your favorite Rafaam. At least like art-wise, or maybe I don't know what other factor. Maybe ability-wise. I think my favorite Rafaam art-wise is probably the Mind Flayer one. I don't know. I won't lie, I really like the Void theme in the Warcraft universe, and that's basically the Void Rafaam. I am kind of sad that we did, or Blizzard did, the Ethereal Homeworld and never, like, added Rafaam into, like, WoW. I know that, like, it was data mined that he might be there, but it just never ever happened, and that was kind of disappointing. I wish we had the mana to instantly get rid of the Bwonsamdi. Okay, is there any other way I can hex that Bwonsamdi off the board? I sadly don't expect it. Okay, we can blow up the board. Hopefully... Okay. Never mind. There's no point in attacking into that. I was like, yay, that's a minion that we can instantly get rid of. And then I remembered to have 5 HP, so never mind. We're at 7 mana. We already used Murloc. Okay. We can slam down the 7/7 and trade into the 3/1 just because that actually gets a body off the board and I don't have to worry about it. Also, I'm starting to realize why people don't run Domino Effect. It's because there's so many locations in Standard right now that people, well, hindsight's 20/20, I guess, right? We can pop this Bwonsamdi. Oh, fun. Okay, let's pop this just to do that. Let's get rid of the 8/8. Does heal us up, which is great. Well, I mean, this would be normally a problematic board, but we are staring at Archmage Rafaam in our hand. Because if we don't let any of the travel or security, is that the name of the card? Be destroyed, then they're only limited to a Bwonsamdi that's going to be weak. Though we might have to destroy that one. Okay, let's AoE the board. Hopefully we get an armor isn't... Okay, let's get or pop that. Let's use Fracture Power. That's also another one of those cards that I might want to cut. I don't know. We need like a way to scale up and yeah. Okay, we can use Dorian and hopefully this fills us our hand with a bunch of Rafaams. I mean, that is a Rafaam. Actually, that's one of the better Rafaams to hit there. Just gonna grab a small one of these. Maybe we can get a little bit of more draw power. Let's grab Black Hole. Black Hole could actually come up. They don't have any demons in their deck, and we might be able to, like, nuke the board. Well, it is what it is. It kind of sucks that you can't discover more copies of Bwonsamdi. too. Okay, how do I want to do this? We could black hole first, which revives everything. I guess we'll... There's only one minion. Oh, it's a bigger minion. We don't have the mana for anything. Okay. We're okay. We just need to draw into the last two Rafaams in our deck. Come on, game. We're so close. We don't have that many cards. Oh, we do kind of have a few cards left in hand. We can use Eat a Imp. I know we should have attacked into something first, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We'll just pretend I did not make a big misplay there. Okay, this should guarantee us into one of the higher cost Rafaams, right? Wait. Let's pop everything as humanly possible. Just trying to stay alive while also not, like, taking a bajillion damage. Because we know they have the 6 damage essentially on board. We're at 16 HP. Okay, okay. I think we're okay. I don't think that deck... I don't think it can run Corpsicle, actually. There's a few other DK lists that I'm like, maybe I do that one instead. I don't know. We'll see when we get around to it. Okay, big body on board. Kind of... Too bad we have the other copy in our hand. Joke's on them. They're like, oh, we're perfect. We're not going to have any problems here. Come on, come on, come on. That's green. Okay, okay, okay. We slammed them green. Please work how I'm 90% sure this is how this is going to work. This should draw into giant. And we get the gigantic victory for the Supreme. Okay, Demon Hunter. Now that Starship Demon Hunter is basically dead, I guess it could be Peddler. I think Peddler's like the deck that's kind of popped up now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? At least it's a newer deck than Starship. Well, actually, Peddler is from Perils of Paradise, isn't it? Huh. I didn't think about that. Huh. I guess both are around the same age because they're both enabled by cards from Emerald Dream. Part of me is actually kind of sad that the Defense Crystal no longer has Taunt, but at the same time, I'm kind of okay with not having to ever deal with that deck ever again. There are certain classes where I'm like, maybe not, but like Druid, Starship Druid is something that I kind of don't mind. Let's just hopefully grab some draws. Draw an AoE, probably. Okay. It's just Savius. It has to be Mind Flayer. Man, this is... 2 7/7s. Well, actually, I guess they're gonna be 9/9s if I remember to actually slam down. No, I guess they do have the poisonous minion. Okay, so it's this version of the list. Oh, that's funny. Okay, we can pop this. AoE. Slam down the Rafaam. I kind of want to grab Tiny. Mixologist. Draw and, I guess, damage. What can we draw here? That's actually cool. Reform ladder. You know, with the card being included in the list, I am seeing why you might not want to. We can... Okay, so we're at 7 mana. Have a few options that we could easily do. I think we're just going to slam down the 9/9s. Because, like, that doesn't... I wish we had one more mana, actually. There are 9/9s that are very annoying to actually deal with. Even for them. We had one more mana. Also, Bob might be a good inclusion in this list. Theoretically. Wait, actually... Might be a way for us to get rid of all the minions without, like, attacking with our 9/9. Trying to do the math in my head. Table flip? I think it's table flip and then Hellfire. Gonna be like 1 off of game, right? 4 off game, sorry. Four HP. We're at 14 HP. I still think we're fine. Yeah, I think we slam down Ziliax next turn. We attack into the 4/4. Let them attack with the 5/3, and then they'll have, like, 2 minions. Unless we, like, top deck something really good here. Oh, we have Archmage in hand, too. We could just Archmage and then, like, call it a day. But I think this is the safer option, and the next turn we Archmage. We'll only be able to hit with the 9/9, but like as long as they don't heal for 5 HP, I think we're good. All right. Come on, just end your turn here, bud. Well, it's about to get a little bit more sheepy in here. You're gonna go sheep with the Rafaams, I guess. All right, now we're through the games. Let's go to my final thoughts of the deck. So I ended up playing 30 games with the deck, ended up with a 50% win rate, which actually is a lot better than I expected this deck to be. It turns out when Sturdy Rat disappears from the metagame, this deck actually can breathe a little bit. However, this deck does also kind of still suffer from the fact that you do need to play all 10 Rafaams. Most of the time, you're either going to win through controlling the board state before you get all 10 off, or you're going to accidentally burn one of your Rafaams and not really have too much of a backup plan. I did include Puppet Master Dorian as a way to get additional copies of some of the other Rafaams, since we do have a lot of targeted draw power, but you could also run things like Carry On Grub instead of the Ancient of Yours, if you want to try that out too, to give you a little bit more sustain if someone is running Dirty Rat. Overall though, if you're a real big fan of Rafaam, this is a really cool one for y'all to try out. It feels way better than it did before the balancing patch. Before we end the video, special thanks to our channel member of Daniel Nesmento. And if you want to give us some additional support to the channel, similar to them, you can always join one of the 3 tiers. However, if you can't afford to do that, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you already haven't, or even turn on the notification button. But until next time, bye-bye.